Good morning. Life goes on here in Iceland and probably everywhere. It's a little bit different. We think a little bit differently about what is important to us now, and we try to maintain our mental health. And one of the things we do to do that is, of course, being outdoors, doing the things you normally do. And you do that, go into the nature with your camera, or just, walk a dog, whatever it is. Here in Iceland we have, maybe not as severe circumstances as most other countries. There is no actual lockdown. We are still allowed to go out, but we have to keep the social distance and, just be sensible about what we do. We just have to think about, okay, this is a phase that goes away, maybe in a few months, maybe next year, maybe we'll just, we just have to think about it as a thing that passes and it goes away. It's not easy for everybody, that's for sure. To me, Iceland is this, for example. It is a spring day. It's supposed to be spring now. And we have the snow in the mountains. And if I would have to describe what it is like to be Icelandic, it's this. We have a sometimes hostile environment in the weather. We have sunny days in between, of course, and this is one of them. We have the green moss coming out of the snow, especially in this time of year, as you can see all around us. The vegetation is coming alive. The migratory birds are here, most of them. The oyster catcher, the golden plover. Soon the puffin will be here also, and the Arctic tern. So life continues, and this is a part of our Arctic heart. Arctic heart is something we keep within us. We are, if I have to describe myself, I'm a little bit introvert. I like to be alone out in the nature, or with a small group of friends, photographers, just enjoying what is out there. And this is a part of it, standing out in the snow, just feeling the wind in your face. The sun, of course, is a part of it, but we don't have those sunny days all the time. Some countries have sunshine maybe 90% of the time. We have maybe 30% of the time sunshine. Let's go and take a look at some of the nature. I should take you with me. I'm not going anywhere without my camera, so I have to turn it off now for a while. See you around. I'm on the west side of Lake Þingvallavatn. It's the biggest lake in Iceland. You can see it here in the background. And the gravel roads, they are not in the best condition now because the frost is going out of the ground and they're very soft. They are not easy to drive. So I think I'm going to turn back because it also damages the roads if you drive on them in these conditions. It's called weight control or weight, heavy cars, they make more damage to the roads than other cars. So mine, well, it has some wide tires and all that, but still in the spring you have to take care of those things and not damaging the roads. So I'm going to drive back to find an asphalt road and then we'll continue. Þingvallavatn is the biggest lake in Iceland, and you can see up in the distance it is frozen in this time of year. Only a small portion of it is ice free, but it gives a good opportunities for photography, finding spots like this with the ice coming into the lake, the leading lines and up to the mountains. In the distance is the Þingvellir National Park. Many of you have been there, of course, but I'm not going there now. I'm just taking the area just close to where I live in Selfoss. It's just about half an hour drive from where I live. So this is, you don't have to go to those famous locations to get into the nature or beautiful nature like here. It is basically everywhere. This is the part of Arctic Heart I just mentioned earlier. Arctic Heart is what we are, we the people in Iceland who live here, who were born here, who choose to live here. And Iceland has become a part of us, part of our heart, if you say so. And it fills you with energy, and charging your batteries to go out into the wild. And the wild is just maybe 10 minutes away from your home. In Iceland, the biggest city is Reykjavik, which is about 200,000 people who live there. My hometown, Selfoss, it is the biggest here in the south. It's only 9,000 people. So we are very few. We are depending on the nature a lot, and we seek our energy, our power to the nature. English is not my native language, so maybe I'm a little bit struggling with, words. I need words that describe what I feel, what it is to be Icelandic. This is one of the things about being Icelandic, just standing here at the edge of the lake, talking to you guys, handhold the camera, So it's maybe wobbling a little bit, but I just wanted to show you this. Iceland is actually very quiet now. As you can imagine, we don't have any tourists. Many people are in quarantine or choose to be in a quarantine. People have started working from home, and I guess it's the same situation everywhere. We just have to get acquainted to this new reality for the next few months. I'm not sure if it's going to be like my business is photo guiding and photo tours, photo workshops. I have no idea when I can start doing that again. And there's one good thing about all this. I have been working from home for a long time. For maybe 30 years I've been working independently, and most of it is from home. I had an office for a while, but in the last financial crisis in 2008, we closed it and we just moved our business home. When I say we, it's me and my wife, Auður Ottesen, and we both are running a business. We are publishing a magazine which is about gardening and summer houses in Iceland, and we have been doing that for more than 25 years now. Some of the things that we have been doing in this time of year is, for example, seminars. We have been doing seminars for people that want to learn to grow vegetables or plants or herbs. My wife is a gardener and she has been doing those seminars for a long time. Actually, since the last crisis, when it started, people got more and more interested in growing their own food. And it's a kind of a meditation at the same time. You are touching the soil, you're handling the plants, you're sowing your seeds, and you're waiting for them to come up from the soil. And finally you can eat your own vegetables in late summer or in the autumn. So we had to change our ways this year, like everybody else, has to change. We have to take our courses online, and now we are going to teach people through the internet how to grow things. It's a challenge to, you have to change your way of thinking, change the way you tell people what to do, because usually there have been people coming to our place, and they are learning how to do things, actually doing them, not just watching a video. And it's going to be a challenge for both us and the students to, get the hang of it. So this is starting now. I haven't been doing much videos like this before. Most of the videos I have been doing are shots in the landscape where I'm not talking much in them. It's like some of my friends in this business, they feel more comfortable behind the camera. And it's a bit of a challenge, I'm sitting here, I'm driving home from a little outing I went just to get into the nature, get my batteries charged, and just get the feel of the nature again. And as English is not my native language, I'm sometimes struggling with finding the right words to describe what I'm feeling, what I want to say. But being out in the nature is very important for me, for all of us, of course. And I want to go out there by myself or with some good friends, doing photography, or just being in the nature. This is a part of my Arctic heart. The Arctic heart is basically what is describing us, the Icelandic people, how we are, what we think, what we do, what we feel. And Iceland is such a big part of what we are. It has made us. It has just it has created the Icelandic people. All the hardship in the nature, all the good things in the nature. We don't take nature for granted. It's ever changing. It's ever, you don't know what it's going to be like. We have the volcanoes, we have geothermal energy, we have hydropower, we have clean air, and even cleaner than before because traffic is not as much as before. We have this beautiful nature that I have been showing you in my photos, and thanks for following me. It's a privilege for me to show you my Iceland, what I see in Iceland and how I see Iceland. I think my Arctic heart is a little bit introvert. I'm a shy person by nature. I was brought up with older people on a small farm in a rural area in South Iceland. And I'm not that open except when I'm doing my tours. Then I can talk to anybody. My wife sometimes says there are two versions of me. There's the Icelandic Palli and the English Palli. The English version of me is open, and probably what I'm doing now is English Pali speaking to you. I wouldn't do it, you know, in Icelandic, I think, because when you are when you're doing what I do, the photo tours and the workshops, I feel like I'm a different person. I want to educate. I want to show people what my country is and what it gives to me, and of course how you take the best photos of Iceland, because it's not always easy. You know, Iceland can be pretty difficult. As we speak now, it started raining and the sun is behind us. There are gray clouds coming up in front of us. That is just a reality we have to face when we're in Iceland. We are depending on the weather and the conditions. If I, for example, would be driving up in the north of Iceland right now, it would be snowing, because the climate in the north and the south is so much different. In the south we have this more like ocean weather. It's warmer, the winds and the rain is coming in from the Atlantic. But in the north you get more like cold winters, more snow. But in the summer you get warmer summer than here in the south. So even though Iceland doesn't look big when you look at it on the map, it is much bigger than you think. Especially when you want to drive, say you want to drive to the Glacier Lagoon. You land in Keflavik Airport, which is on the west or on the southwest part of Iceland, and you want to drive to the airport, which from the airport to the Glacier Lagoon. But that could take you more than 6 hours. It's more than 400 kilometers, almost 450 kilometers. And the speed limit in Iceland is 90 kilometers per hour. The roads are narrow. And, well, you must take in also think about all the beautiful places you are driving through, or you're driving past waterfalls, rivers, glaciers, mountains, you know, just name it. It's all where you're driving. So these 6 hours are going to take you a lot longer than 6 hours. It's going to be 10 or 12 hours to take this road from the Keflavik Airport to the Glacier Lagoon. So when you're planning a trip to Iceland, you have to think about, give yourself time, give yourself more time than you actually think you need. Stop in various places, stop for you know, just stop anywhere, except stopping on the road is totally no-no here in Iceland. Because even there is only 350,000 people who live here, we still need to, you know, be safe on the roads and be able to drive. If you stop because you see a horse by the side of the road, that's a total no-no. If you can turn off the road and take a picture of that horse, yeah, that's fine. But when you come from, say, from a big city that is 10 million people, and you're used to the traffic you are dealing with in those areas, then you are driving bumper to bumper. And when you come to Iceland, there is plenty of space. There's no need to be in the bumper of the next car in front of you. Actually, we feel like it's pretty weird when you are looking in the mirror and you see the white in the eyes of the driver behind you, and he's just, you know, I have to be close to the next car because somebody might come in front of you and take your space. that should not be the way you think about driving in Iceland. Keep your distance. It's like the social distance between people now in the time of the virus. You should keep your distance to the next car, like 100 meters, so you have enough time to stop if the car in front of you suddenly decides, oh, there's a horse, I need to take a picture of it, and he just brakes in the middle of the road. Yeah, then it's good to have time, just keep your distance from other cars when you're driving. And well, I'm just rambling on here, and the things that come into my mind. So I hope you are watching my Facebook, my Instagram, and my videos. This is a different video than I usually do, because I'm not usually talking to you in person. I hope you like what I'm saying, and keep safe. We will see you in Iceland when all this is over. You can see that I'm not used to talking to you on YouTube. So I forgot to ask you if you would like to subscribe to my channel and put a like on my video, even a comment if you want me to do this again, or should I do this more often. You have to do things that you are not comfortable with in this day and age. So maybe that is my new way of communicating to you, by talking to you on a video. Tell me in the comments if you would like something more of this. It hasn't been much about photography, actually, more about life and how you feel, what you see, what you do. I will probably, if I do this often or do this more, I will talk about photography more, I promise. Show you places that I am seeing, tell you about them, tell you about photos, how I make them, the photos I want to make, but are not that good actually when you see them. There are many things that they don't go as planned. So, well, I'm just talking now. So if you want to subscribe and put a like on the video, I would be really happy, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully.